Hey survivors, welcome to Dead Matter Vlog 06. We hope you're enjoying our brand new voice over IP system which changes the way you sound based on where you're standing, and in the future, it'll also depend on what you're wearing. Masks will muffle your voice.
Our talented lead artist Shirk has been hard at work over the last 3 months overhauling majority of our world map. We've now got a much prettier, much more performant terrain than before. There have also been some changes to the lighting system to make the game look less flat. Shirk has also replaced some foliage that was once a placeholder. Now all of our foliage is made fully in-house, and it looks a lot better than what we had before. We are starting to rapidly build up our points of interest across the world. However, we felt that Endgame needed something a little extra, a little procedural. We've now added procedural bunkers that will be scattered throughout the map. The generation is seed-based and is tied to the server that you are currently connected to. No two bunker locations on different servers will look the same. These bunkers will play a massive role in extracting extremely rare and potentially exotic equipment. There will be named legendaries with a variety of effects that you'll be encouraged to chase after late game. There has not been an art pass on the bunker assets for over a year. All of the bunkers are currently put together by a programmer, and they are likely going to change for the better in the near future. Nomad has also finished his Nira camp from the last development update, and all of the assets associated with it. We're really excited to start spreading these around the world. Certain random areas will also become quarantine zones that will be deadly yet bountiful sources of gear and equipment. Our programmer has added a basic ladder system. You can now climb up any ladder that you see in-game. This includes step ladders that you can carry around and place down. These can be used to access vantage points or to gain access to otherwise restricted looting areas. We're really excited to see some of the shenanigans that our player base will be getting into with these. We've now got some new weapons. First up is the AKS-74U. This submachine gun is the little brother of the AK-74. It packs quite a punch and excels at close quarter combat. Our second addition to the submachine gun category is the MP7, which is a sweet little submachine gun that features a folding stock. When the stock is collapsed, the item will also take up less room in your inventory. Weapons that have magazines attached also take up more room in the inventory. Last but certainly not least, the shotgun. Our talented animator, the Shiny Haxorus, has put a lot of work into the shotgun. It fires 12 gauge shotgun shells, has a capacity of 8 shotgun shells, and is also one of the most modular weapons in the game. We've also tweaked some of our weapon mechanics. Instead of firing bullets from the player's eyes, weapons will now fire from the physical muzzle. This will make it much more difficult to fire from the hip. We're also adding a new pair of Mosin Nagants. We weren't really happy with our previous iterations. They lacked a lot of the qualities that we desire. We feel that these are a much better fit for the game. You can now push back zombies with a melee pash or use a bayonet if your weapon has one. This is to help with crowd control when you're starting to feel overwhelmed by the undead surrounding you. There are now some new melee weapons in the game. In fact, there's now 26 total, starting at the crowbar, the tire iron, a pair of bolt cutters, a broom, a hatchet, an oar, a rake, a sledgehammer, a mattock, a kayak paddle, and much more. Some of these will be moved to a different animation set at a future date. We're aiming for functionality first because we need a lot of these in-game in order to start building mechanics off of them. Picking up items has been refined. There is now a casting time for picking up heavy items, which is influenced by your character's current limb health. Broken hands will ruin your dexterity and make quick tasks, such as opening a flashlight to insert some batteries, a much more tedious task. You can now place items that you're carrying by pressing B, or to place any item, you can use the place option from the item drop-down menu. Certain items will behave as containers once they are placed, and you'll even be able to move certain containers after they've been filled, such as the cooler. Casting time has been added to most actions within the inventory, such as turning a flashlight on and off, opening sub-containers, removing magazines from weapons, and having a good old swig of diesel. There is a new ragdoll state that we've added. It is triggered by going unconscious, or can be triggered manually. We've included the ability to voluntarily fall over, since players can carry players that are in a ragdoll state. You can also use a pistol when you're carrying a different player. However, you will not be able to reload your pistol, so keep it in mind when reaching for your Makarov. Plan accordingly. We've now got a new set of third-person animations that look a lot better than our old ones. We've also got some animations for carrying large objects in third person. Keep in mind that a lot of these objects will slow you down when you're carrying them. We've made some progress on our medical system by implementing our new limb health system. In Dead Matter, your limb health is currently separated from your blood, which currently acts as overall player health in Dead Matter. Only bleeding will truly affect how close you are to death. However, being forced to walk everywhere due to a sprained ankle is something that cannot be ignored in the zombie apocalypse. Your life depends on it. We've also implemented a nutrition system. While it's not a requirement to fulfill all of your macronutrient or vitamin requirements, there are benefits for doing so without any penalties for failing to do so long as you remember to eat and drink. You can now shoot any jerry can or propane tank item. This also applies to when they are being carried. Keep in mind that damage from these can cause a chain reaction. The same goes for the fuel trailer. We care about our world and making sure that it feels lived in. We've added a way for you to read newspapers in-game. In the near future, we'll be adding multiple newspaper collections in order to provide a way for survivors to piece together the events leading up to the outbreak. Nomad has helped get a new van ready for gameplay. It has room for up to 4 and can be equipped with some upgrades that allow you to store a ladder and some camping supplies on the roof, or a tire on the back of the van that you can be used to repair it if you accidentally run over a spike strip. We're still working on the mechanics behind this in order to add an element of risk-reward for when you decide to fix your tires. There are now greenhouses which will allow you to grow food all year round. Just keep in mind that they'll likely be a target for bandits during the winter. In the future, we'll be allowing survivors to build their own greenhouse, alongside some additional structures, such as a guard tower and some log wall fences. If you want to get your own road named after you, or get a personalized hockey jersey, all while supporting Dead Matter, head on over to our Indiegogo page. There's a wide variety of ways to support us and some really cool once-in-a-lifetime perks for doing so. Show us some love via social media, Twitter, Facebook, our forums, and our community Discord, which is extremely active. We're a tiny, no bullshit team. Our goal is to make a damn good survival game that we actually want to play, and while we're not great project managers, we're good game developers, and we strive to continue to deliver regular updates and interact with our community. Listening to your feedback enables us to make a better game, so please stop by our forums or our Discord. We care about feedback and we listen to it. Thank you for watching this to the end. We truly appreciate your support. Dead Matter Vlog 05. We've been super busy and tons of progress has been made in all departments since our last development update. Let's get straight into it. Our talented lead artist Shirk has created plenty of buildings since our last vlog. We've got a new set of cabins, as well as a new set of public toilets to go with them. We care about all of the details, especially number 1 and 2. Shirk has also created some super awesome commercial warehouses. They're perfect if you're looking for some crafting supplies, or if you're looking for a medium-sized shelter for your group of survivors. Shirk has also created a church which will be found throughout our map, featuring a hidden office as well as a bell tower. Shirk has also done another pass on the police station, mainly focusing on the basement area, which now includes an armory, one of the most reliable sources for mid-tier weapons and gear. I'll stop talking for a second to let you take in the atmosphere. Nomad has created a Nira evacuation center. These will randomly pop up in different locations on different servers. They'll contain a plethora of medical supplies. Nira evacuation centers are also a hotspot for the infected. Plan accordingly. Nomad has also upgraded his Firewatch tower in order to bring it up to speed with the standard of Shirk's buildings. You should feel a lot more at home should you decide to take one of these over for yourself. Do you hate people walking into the same building as you? Do you just hate said people? Want to attract a horde to the building just to mess with them? You now can. If someone pulls the alarm on you, you can just reset it from the control panel. Our weapon and camera systems have received another pass. We now have an adaptive peeking system to ensure that you can always see your target when aiming down sights from behind cover. We've now implemented a proper set of reload animations for the Mosin Nagant, including a stripper clip reload. Scopes, holographic sights, and red dot sights have all received their first implementation. They are close, but not final, and we will be doing a polish pass in the future to address this. Our talented animator, the Shiny Haxorus, has been adding 6 new weapons to the game. They're not finished just yet, but they're close enough that we feel comfortable showing them off. The HR-75, the best gun to come out of Croatia since 1975. The HP-9, a pistol commonly found in military loot areas. This one is a personal favorite of mine. AK-74, accurate, reliable, Russian, enough said. The Makarov, renowned for being a tier 0 pea shooter, and in Dead Matter, it's not much different. It's got 8 rounds, shoots 9mm, and doesn't really pack a punch. The E92, commonly used by the US as well as some Canadian armed forces. This weapon will be commonly found in helicopter drops. It's got a 15-round magazine, and it's pretty sweet. Last, but certainly not least, the Wood Axe. Still a work in progress, but once completed, this will unlock the door to us rapidly adding any backlogged melee weapons that can utilize the same animation set. Construction signs have been added to the game. Want to get your trading career off the ground? Some of these signs can be towed with a vehicle, and you'll be able to set the text that appears on the screen. There have been plenty of minor changes to our inventory system. Along with the new UI from our last development vlog, you can now place objects onto the ground. In the future, you'll be required to set up the tent after it is placed on the ground. Item organization just got a little bit better, as you can now store items in sub-containers which allow easier management of your inventory as well as a slight bonus to your overall carry capacity. You can now pick up large objects such as jerry cans, metal, and wood sheets for barricading, propane tanks for barbecues, and much more. This is a very early implementation of a generic system that we'll be forging a lot of gameplay elements from. Our old doors sucked, so we went and made some new ones. You can now physically interact with the doors, even though they just use fancy math instead of actual physics. You can also knock on doors. Just keep in mind that the infected can run through the door just as easily as you can. If you'd like to get your own road named after you, or a personalized hockey jersey, all while supporting Dead Matter, head on over to our Indiegogo page. There's a wide variety of once-in-a-lifetime perks that you can get in exchange for your support. Show us some love via social media, Twitter, Facebook, our forums, and our community Discord, which is extremely active. We've also created a thread to discuss this video, and there's a link to that in the description. We're a tiny no bullshit team. Our goal is to make a damn good survival game that we actually want to play. We aren't great project managers, but we've got a really talented team, and we strive to regularly update and interact with our community. Listening to your feedback enables us to make a better game, so please stop by on our Discord or on our forums. We listen and care about feedback. It's important to us. Thank you for watching this to the end. We truly appreciate your support. See you in the new year.
Vlog 04. The team has been extremely busy over the last few weeks, and we're excited to show you what we've been up to. Our lead artist has completed a polish pass on a collection of commercial buildings. We've now got a pizzeria, complete with enough leftover ingredients to keep a group of survivors fed for a week. A clothing store, with plenty of clothes and no food at all. A mattress store, useful for single player and co-op where your survivor will be required to sleep. A dollar store, containing nutritionally poor food and a variety of cheap goods from China. A hardware store, containing a plethora of crafting supplies and other valuable loot. A hair salon, offering very little value, unless you decide to get creative and make use of some of the crafting ingredients that spawn here. A small grocery store, which provides access to a large quantity of food, if you're willing to eat with a target on your back. A bookstore, whether you're reading a book to enhance your character's ability or to improve their comfort. Jimmy's, a casual place for cheap coffee and donuts. Our Canadian friends will feel right at home here. Winslow's family-friendly burger chain, a great fixer-upper with a massive kitchen, perfect for a small group of survivors. Size does matter. Dick's Diner. All three variations of this burger chain are now ready to be occupied by survivors. Safeway, our largest building in Dead Matter, has also received a polish pass. We hope you don't run into anyone else while you're exploring this massive supermarket. We love detail. Every commercial building in Dead Matter will have an employee-only area. These will vary from building to building and will sometimes contain an employee bathroom to help you keep stocked up on water, until the pipes run dry, of course. Plan accordingly.
Nomad has also been chipping away at bringing some new props as well as some additional buildings into the game. Please note that these buildings have not received their polish pass yet. Shirk has set up some new cliff and rock models that blend perfectly into our terrain. We're excited to use these in our world. There have been some enhancements made to our ambient lighting system. Now the time of day, weather, and sun angle affect the color and specular strength of the light source.
We've now got a brand new major location, the police station. It's the second largest building in Dead Matter, containing offices, cells, a vehicle garage, an armory, and an evidence locker. It's also our first commercial building with an underground section to it. Bring a flashlight in case the power goes out while you're down there. Our weapon movement now uses inertia. Using a weapon now feels much less floaty and much more responsive than before. Heavier weapons, such as the AKM, have more inertia. We've got a new batch of weapons implemented into the game. The G18C, a rare, late-game weapon that must be looted from a bunker. The rate of fire on this thing is downright scary.
The 1911, American as apple pie and extremely satisfying to use. The Mosin Nagant, still a work in progress, but once completed it will be one of the best early game weapons you can get your hands on. We have a new GPU based gore system which looks great and is performance friendly. Even with a massive horde, our gore system chugs along without a single hitch. We've performed a pass on our entire user interface as well as our inventory system. Dragging and dropping items feels much more responsive than before. We've also implemented the first pass of our clothing system. These are using placeholder assets, and while these will be replaced soon, we felt that it was important to show off how we intend our clothing system to work. Giving players tools to navigate our world is really important to us. We've implemented a system for our artists to use that allows for quick and easy creation of highway signage. Every exit will have a unique number. Every overhead sign on the highway will contain useful information to help you navigate the world. We've even got a miner system that ensures all satellite dishes always point south. We reuse the system from the highway signage to generate random license plates for every car in Dead Matter.
Firefights will now be a lot more intense. We've added leaning as well as a ballistics system.
This system will accurately simulate bullet penetration and ricochet.
This should lead to heightened intensity during gunfights.
Thanks for checking out the latest Dead Matter development vlog. If you like what you've seen so far, you can back us on Indiegogo. Backing us via Indiegogo will allow you to access our alpha as soon as it's made available to backers. We are a tiny team and we are continually blown away by all of the support that you guys have showered us with. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for making our vision a reality. We are a community-oriented development team, and if you want to get involved, I've dropped some links to our Discord server, our forums, and our social media pages.
The rest of this video is just gameplay from about 2 weeks ago. There was a couple issues involving the rain particles, but it's mostly just a test of the atmosphere and mood. We hope that you enjoy it, and thank you again for watching our devlog.